Hey Flosstube, it's Emer here, and it is a rather dull and grey Sunday afternoon. Um, I'm not late with this video, but I have been putting off filming it, because I tend to, I finish work in the evening. I finish work at 4:30. It's already starting to get dark, so I go for my walk or my run, and then by the time I get back, it's definitely dark, and it's just too gloomy to film. So I've been putting it off, waiting for a nice weekend. It's late November, however, so a nice weather weekend is not going to come. So we're making do with this kind of meh November Sunday. And it isn't one of my videos if I don't start off with my peppermint purple blackwork stitch along. Ta-da! Um, I don't think in my last video I had started the border. I think I'd done the 2021 and nothing else. But I have started the border. As you can see, I've opted to go with the colours that are in the boxes. I think it bends quite nicely for the red to the orange anyway. It's very pretty, it's very delicate. Loving how it's turning out. Ta-da! I thought I would be further along on the border, to be honest, but it has been quite busy this past while. I've been busy with nice things, which is good to say. I went to see Heather's musical with some friends, and it was great. I loved it. Then one of my friends was in a play, so I went to see that, and again it was fantastic. It was called Best Served Cold, and it was a story of like revenge, and it was a very small cast. There were only 3 people in it, and each of those 3 cast members were bad people to some level of bad. Main character, my friend was the main character, and as main as you can get when there are only 2 other characters. And he was like, he wasn't a great person. He had hurt his friend, but he definitely didn't deserve the horrible like treatment he got in the end. And the other 2 got revenge on him, but it was totally out of proportion. And we left it. It was short enough play because there's only 3 cast members, and it was coming to like the final portion of the play, and we were like, how are they going to redeem this? This isn't looking too good. And then it ended. It had a tragic ending, and we're like, oh. The play was very funny, perhaps in like a bleak comedic way, but we're like, oh, we weren't expecting it wasn't even a sad ending. It was just, oh, he didn't deserve that. But it was fantastic. It was a thriller the whole way from start to finish. Didn't know what to expect. And then the week gone past, or last Friday, it was my boyfriend's birthday. He already said it was his 21st. We're not 21. It's my brother's 21st in a while. But it was his birthday, and for his birthday present, I took him out to dinner and to see the Book of Mormon, which was so good. It was the choreography was crisp, the costuming was great, the set design was great, the music was great. It was so good, and I knew it was like a kind of a satirical play making fun of the Book of Mormon, but it was kind of nice as well. It had a nice touching note that at the end, like compassion is important, and working together, and loving your neighbor will prevail. So I thought it was unexpectedly sweet, and like came out feeling really, really positive. I was like, oh, I was just expecting a comedy, and now I'm like feeling fuzzy about what people can do for each other. So yeah, for now I think I'm going to keep working on the border on Wednesdays. Things should calm down a little bit further. Like I don't have any upcoming plays. I have a small upcoming concert. It's in a pub, and it's I don't know if you've seen the viral trend on TikTok of sea shanties and like the Wellerman, but the band that kicked it all off is playing in a pub in Dublin, and I'd love to see it because I think it'd be really cool. But it's questionable if it could go ahead. COVID restrictions have started to tighten up again, unfortunately. Other whips. On my Mondays, I have been working on this little ornament. I don't really know why, to be honest. I have switched from the Noel one to this. I was feeling this one more, and as long as they all get done by Christmas, that's important. That's what's important. And it's slow enough going though. Like I said, it's been busy this past while. And I have a game, like a role playing game, every second Monday, and that's actually in person, which is lovely. But the bonus, I suppose, of playing games online was that I could stitch away, and it's different stitching in person. It feels just a little bit, I don't know, like I'm not paying attention, even though I am. It just feels different. And I believe I showed this last time as an intended start. I mentioned, I think, that I had either had or had ordered the fabric and metallic threads. I have started it. I haven't got much done. I haven't spent too long working on it, but it is slower with metallic threads. This is my first time using metallics, and it is very different. It isn't horrible, and I do like how it looks, but I have to be very careful and deliberate about my stitches. Though seeing it in kind of reflected in the camera, seeing it in this light, I like it. I think it will look pretty nice. This fabric is, I want to say it's a 32 count. Hold on. What does the magazine recommend? Because I know I sized up. Okay, so the magazine recommends 28 count, so this is 32 count, and I believe it is mushroom linen from, I did order from Lakeside Needlecraft in the UK, and as per usual, I got caught with customs because it was just this fabric and the metallic flosses. It was like fibre. I had to pay for customs. Annoying, but like fine. I knew I was gonna get hit with it. That is all for whips. I did a tiny bit on Bay and Cat. And when I say tiny, it was a 20-minute train ride to get into the city centre. It's not worth showing. But I have two finishes, and it's weird to say I have two finishes, and I felt like I've not done a lot of stitching in the past 3 weeks. First finish, Shira. Look at her. Oh, she's so cool. She was so fun to stitch. I love the fabric. I love everything about her. She's great. I don't know how I'll finish it yet. I'm thinking some kind of flat fold or just like a flat backed ornament. I bought some foam core board, maybe with like a rainbow fabric at the back. Look how tiny my back is, guys. Look at that. But yeah, really fun, really quick, really easy. Came out really nice. I'm still watching Shira at the moment. I think we're nearing the end of season 4. It's so good. I care about all the characters, even the characters that are set up as the villains. I'm like, oh, they're sympathetic, and I want good things for the villains. I want them to recognize the error of their ways and to reform and realize that they have people who love them and just see them healed by the power of love. And I think it'll happen. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. My next finish. I feel like you can sense my excitement. I'm using my hands a lot. Welcome winter. Ta-da! It's finished. So this is, the pattern is, oh sorry, the wind is reflecting. The pattern is Welcome Winter by The Drawn Thread. The fabric is 28 count gingerbread by Sparkly's Fabric, and it's the whatever you call the kind of fabric with sparkly bits through it. Beautiful fabric to work on, by the way. I highly recommend Sparkly's. If you are in the EU, I think you will get hit by customs and stuff, which is unfortunate because I love her fabrics, but I think my plan is I'm roughly planning to go to 2 retreats in the UK next year. My plan is to save up and make a shopping list and bulk purchase from Sparklies when I next get a chance to. The frame is from eframe.ie. I finished the piece last Sunday, cut out the foam board during my D&D game. And then I ordered the frame, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday, and it arrived Friday, which is insane. This is a custom made frame. Like, they definitely did not have a really wide and short blue frame sitting about. But here it is. Oh, look at it. You can't see it when I'm shaking it. The frame came really quickly. And like when I'd ordered a frame for the wedding piece, it took a lot longer. It took like about 5 or 6 weeks, I think, maybe 4 or 5. So I'm absolutely delighted that it came in time. We don't have our Christmas decorations up yet. We had planned to put them up this weekend, but we won't have a Christmas tree until next weekend. So that has to wait. But I want to just zoom myself in, come a little closer to the camera to show you the detail. Those pines, they did my head in. It absolutely drove me mad, but I think they look so good. Everybody who's seen it in person, they're like, oh, I love the pines. And I'm like, thank you. I cried while working on those. Not quite, but almost. Scarf, super cute. The snowflakes don't show up very well. They're not showing up great on camera. They don't show up super in real life. They look nice. I mean, you can see them if you're like right up to them, but nah. That's kind of my least favorite part about the planning. The snowman is cute. The house is cute. The tree is cute. Bird is cute. What a lovely piece. And I have Welcome Autumn. I'm obviously not in the mood to stitch that at the moment. Excuse me, but I'll probably stitch it next summer and have it done for autumn. I might stitch the others. I don't know. Somebody, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. Somebody had the fantastic suggestion for the Welcome Summer that I should replace the American flag with the Pride flag, because Pride is in June, and obviously I care a lot more about Pride than America. Sorry. That sounds bad, but I'm not American, so whatever. But that's a maybe. That's a future plan. The only thing that would put me off them is I have to get a really long piece of fabric. And I do have the other half of gingerbread, so I can do one more, which was my plan for getting Welcome Autumn. And then I have to get a custom frame. I think the frame was €23. The minimum order was €25, so I had out on like a roll of tape to my order. So the frame was essentially €25, which is fine. I framed it myself. I laced it up at the back. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. But like doing a frame for every season, it's €100 on photo frames. I'll see. Watch the space. Although speaking of spending money, I spent some money back at the start of September. Ongoing saga of my 1-2-3 stitch order. It arrived Friday. I had given up hope. I didn't expect it to arrive, and then it arrived 3 months later. It's absolutely not 1-2-3 Stitch's fault. It sat in Chicago, some sort of shipping depot, for over 2 months. And once it actually left the US, it took about 3 months to get to me. The bulk of that, but it's like 1-2-3 Stitch sent it out, and then maybe like a week and a bit later, it reached that Chicago depot or shipping location, whatever it's called, and it sat there for over 2 months. And it took me about another week and a half to leave the US to go through other different shipping places, depots. And then it reached Ireland in like 3 days. And National Postal Service got it, and the next day they had it to me. So I don't know what happened there. It's not 123 Stitch's fault. I feel bad saying I won't be ordering them from them for the foreseeable future. Not their fault. They have so many patterns. I still go on the site sometimes and browse, and I catch myself going, Emer, you can't order from there because it will take forever to get to you. I just think the US postal system is too disorganized at the moment for me to be ordering from the US. Unfortunate. And it's tough because ordering from the UK at the moment, I get absolutely gouged on customs. So if you know any European shops, please let me know. I think there's one, it's like Casa de Nina, maybe, that I found. There's a German site. Their name is in German. It's like Stick Foilen or something. Any German people, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what I just said. My go-tos are still like Lakeside Needlecraft. Lovecrafts, I think, are okay. Now, I do have a relative in the north, so I would be potentially more inclined to order from, for example, if I wanted to order like a big Mira kit from Hawkins Hobbies or something, I would order from them and get it sent to the north, and then I'd collect it. It's slow, but like you pay a lot in customs. Anyway, my 123 Stitch order. This. If you're reading this, then you're blissfully unaware of what is creeping up behind you. I had hoped that my order would take a month to ship. I would get this at the start of October. I would stitch it in October, and I would have it as a Halloween decoration. That did not happen. But anyway, I ordered 2 pieces of purple fabric. Picture this plus something. It says 16th yard, 32 count at J. Sorry, the color is J. Which is very pretty. There's some lovely mottling. It's got kind of grey tones to it, and then pictures plus whimsy. Oh. And I'd ordered those 2 pieces because it's hard to tell what things look like on screen. But my idea is that I will stitch this on whimsy. It's not quite the same color as in the pattern, but I'm happy with it because I think this is a bit too saturated a purple. I like the idea of using this kind of mottledy. It's a Halloween kind of fabric. It's perfect. And I will no doubt find a use for this. Next up, hedgehog. I love hedgehogs. Super cute. It's only little, or at least I think it is. I mean, it looks little. 60 wide by 90 high. That's not massive. I do love the finish. I love the kind of fluffy trim they have around it. I don't know how I'll finish it, but a little cushion like that would be very cute. The trim is hand-dyed chenille in the colour Vintage by Lady Dot Creates. I might stitch it, and if it turns out really nice, I will spend a little extra and send it to Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher, and pay to get it finished by somebody who does lovely finishing work. Check out Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher. She's great, lovely lady. This is Buzz of the Bees. Really cute. I like colour fabrics that they do that on. 28 count Rit Dye Monaco. Rit dye is like fabric dye that you can buy in the shop, isn't it? interesting. I like the idea of doing this on kind of a chalkboard style fabric, so perhaps a bit darker background. They did a really clever finish for this as well. It's on like chicken wire. I don't know if you can quite make out the chicken wire above and below. So I think it's a frame, no backing, just chicken wire. And then that's clearly like mounted on some sort of foam core or mat board backing. And then in the frame. Really creative finish. Very clever. Some people are just so clever. Like, I don't know. I just don't have that flair. Next up, the reason why I placed the 1, 2, 3 stitch order. Fairytale sampler. Text is kind of small. I don't think the camera will pick it up, so I'll read it out to you. Once upon a time is how most fairy tales first start. The not a questing maiden or an pure of heart. Sometimes there is a treasure, princely frog or magic blade, dangers to be conquered or long journeys to be made. Yet strength and courage triumph. To the enemy's chagrin, the questing soul discovers that the hero lies within. I think it's really sweet. It's a okay. I don't have kids. Who do I stitch this for? Like I do have a little baby cousin. She's my second cousin. I do have a friend with a 2-year-old, but I don't know. I ordered it because I love it. I love fairy tales. I even have this fabric is called Fairytale by Sparklies. It's a 32 count Murano even leaf. It's really pretty. I feel like it's coming out a little bit paler on camera, but it's this gorgeous like pinky lavendery shade, and it would look lovely for that. And it's even called Fairytale. So I know I want to stitch it, and I think it's such a sweet message. It's just not something that I would keep and display in my own house when I'm done with it. I clearly didn't think this through when I ordered it. I just knew I wanted to stitch it and was like, it's back in stock, let's order it. I don't know. I'll have to think on it. Look. And the final piece from this order is And a Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. This is a big ass project. My partner stitches a bit and he saw this. He was like, Emer, what the fuck is that? And I have to agree. Like, what the hell? How do I think I can do this? It is, how many stitches is this? 420 stitches wide by 200 tall. That is massive. Absolutely gigantic. Recommended 32 count linen, 1/2. I do like that the designer, she does say that she went with 1/2 because she wanted it to look a bit delicate and sparse. You can use 2/2 and it'll be absolutely fine. 2/2 on 32 count would be my go-to, but because they're trees, I can totally see what she means by wanting a bit more delicate. And I actually don't want perfect coverage on my threads because I want it to look like leaves. I want it to look like the fabric shining through a little bit. It's a beautiful pattern. For anybody who's worked giant piece, how do you work it? I have an 11-inch Q snap. Is the biggest thing I have to work on. Do I have to get a scroll frame for this kind of thing? Would like I know you can get those extensions for your Q snap to make it like to a 14-inch. or even just get a 14-inch Q snap. Is that okay? I don't know. This is something I know I definitely want to stitch. I want to change out the verse. It's a Bible verse in the middle. I want to change in the patterns. And out of the ground may the Lord God grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I'm not against putting some kind of faith related quote in here. I just don't like that one. But I have seen people stitch this with other quotes. A lot of the quotes I've seen are like, I can't think of them off the top of myself, but like, oh, to plant a tree today is to think of the people of tomorrow or something like that. It'll be something I have to think about. And like for every year for Christmas, my partner and I do make up a list of potential Christmas gifts for each other, and I think I might put kitting this up on my Christmas wish list. Like, please buy me a giant piece of linen and like 90 something colors, 90 something pieces of DMC. Please and thank you. I might also put some sort of library stand on my Christmas wish list. If you have any recommendations, by the way, for like floor stands or the like, please let me know. I would be super interested in hearing about them. I just think it'd be neat for working on big projects. Okay, so that is all I have to show for today, but I do want to talk a little bit more about my plans for 2022. I know I have a while yet, but it's the kind of time of year where you start getting into planning for future. So I want to talk about Whip Go and No Knee Starts. Whip Go, if you don't know, is like a 5x5 bingo grid, and each month 2 numbers are called, 2 squares are called, and you work in those 2 squares, those pieces, for the month. That's it. That's basically it. I intend to do Whip Go. I doubt I will have a full 25 pieces to put on it. What will be going is the likes of like Bayon Cat, Andromeda, other things that like Elegant Geisha from Dimensions, stuff I want to get finished, and there'll probably be a few spaces for like New Start in it, which leads me into No New Starts. And this sounds like it contradicts what I just said, but No New Starts, if you're not familiar, is the idea, I don't do any new starts for the year 2022. I am not doing that level of the challenge. There is another level below that, which is called 22 in 22, which the idea is that you pick a list of 22 projects and you will work on those 22 projects throughout 2022. Why I'm going for this one? I don't have 22 whips at the moment. I just don't. So I like that it restricts how many whips I can start. It kind of, not that I have ever had like a million whips on the go at once, but it puts some level of restriction and kind of makes me think of what I currently have and what I want to achieve for the year, while allowing me those gaps for the new starts. Because I do know that I want to start And a Forest Grew. I want to do those little hedgehogs. I want to have the option to start things, but not, I'll start everything in January and then it all just languishes for the year and things get left behind. So that's why I'm doing 22 and 22. I think at the moment I have about half the board or half the list filled up with ongoing whips and some patterns from stash that I know I want to start. I'm going to tie those two in together, the Whip Go and the 22 and 22, just because I like the idea. Like, it's not that I finish things and never start things and never finish them. Like, I have 2 finishes there today, but I just like the idea of setting myself goals and being a little bit more mindful of what I have. I know for Christmas I mentioned putting maybe like a floor stand or killing up on a forest screw, but I've also put Mirabilia Stargazer and Miss Christmas Eve on my Christmas wish list. Just the patterns, I don't want to rush into starting them. But it's, I don't know, and in a way planning makes me realize what I like to stitch. Like I like stitching things with, like that Welcome Winter, with bits of details that when people go look at it, they go, oh, that's lovely and delicate. Or like at the Mirabilia retreat I was at in October, seeing things like Miss Christmas Eve finished and seeing the decorations on her skirt, it was just beautiful. Like that's why I want to get back to Andromeda, because she's gorgeous. I love my black work, because again, you look at it and you're picking out little bits of detail. So in a way, kind of trying to plan for the future made me realize what I'm excited about stitching and what elements I love in a piece. And I think that's good as well, because since I've started to reflect on that, there have been patterns I've seen on Etsy or online or whatever and go, oh, that's lovely. But at the same time, while I know I love and appreciate the finished product, it doesn't have those elements that really make me excited to work on something. So I think that over the course of next year, I'm going to grow a little bit more in what I know I like to stitch and stuff like that. I think it's really nice. And like I enjoy those little Mill Hill kits because I enjoy the beading, and I enjoy when there's like do a Smyrna stitch or some new stitch. It's exciting. So yeah, in my December video, me committing to a December video, I will hopefully have a Whipco board to show you all, as well as my 22 and 22 list. Like I said, I have a rough list of it at the moment, but most of it is unoccupied potential new starts. And I could fill them in. I could say, oh, I have these patterns in my stash, I want to start all of these. But I want to leave myself a little wiggle room while still staying within 22 whips. Okay, that is all for me, Flosstube. Like, give me a comment, engage with the video in whatever way you want to. Yeah. Stay safe. Bye.